host, Brittany Caldwell, and I thank you for joining us on Becoming, a show where we inspire, motivate, and encourage women to become all that God has created us to be. And one of the ways that we do this is through sharing our stories of hope, perseverance, setbacks, and victories. And today's guest who will be sharing her story is Cassandra O'Neal. Cassandra, thanks for joining us on the show today.
Thank you, Brittany, for having me.
So Cassandra and I go way back. I remember we went to the same church, and I remember her singing in the worship team and have always just had such a beautiful, beautiful voice.
Thank you.
So today we're going to talk about her journey with singing. But Cassandra, if you could start off by telling us, how did it all begin? When did you start singing?
I was 6 years old, and I went to church with my grandmother this particular Sunday, and walk into the church and see my little 6-year-old auntie up in the choir, and she's up there with some of the adults as well. And I remember saying to my grandma, I want to sing. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't know if that was me or that was God speaking through me, but I did want to sing. Didn't know if I could. Right. And 2 weeks later, I was up there singing with the choir, and it's just,
ever since then.
Yep.
Ever
started
since
there.
Then, she's done that. And so now she's not only a singer, she's a singer, a songwriter, a worship leader, and a newly published author. So a lot has happened since you were 6 years old and decided to join the choir. So how did you transition from singing to making singing a career?
I was actually approached by a producer that was a member of the church where I was attending. And because he's seen me leading worship, he asked me one day, have you ever thought about recording? Now, I'm not going to lie and say I had never thought about recording, but I've never thought about it as a solo artist. My plan was, as the pastor and his wife, because it was a nice-sized church and they were traveling, I figured that's how I would get out there. They would naturally call me to be the special psalmist. That was my thinking and my plan.
Right.
But God had another plan. So when the guy approached me, I kept kind of putting him off like, I'll see about that. And finally, one day he said this to me, and it kind of shook me. Mm-hmm. It just like shook me into reality that this might actually be what God's calling me to do. He said, you know what? I think I believe in you more than you believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. And I was like, whoa. So let's try this. So we went into the studio. We recorded the very first song, which was incredible. And he says, you know what? Let's try another one. We did another one. Hey, let's try another one. And before I knew it, we've got a full album of 13 songs, 9 of which I am the writer. Mm-hmm. So I discovered another talent for writing as well.
Right. And that is beautiful that it took someone saying, I believe in you more than you believe in yourself. I think for me, that has definitely helped push me into the different ventures that God has given me, is someone believing in me, even more than I believed in myself.
And that's an encouragement. We all need that. Now I understand more why Jesus sent him out 2 by 2.
Right.
We thought, for the reasons that he gave, but also, again, that encouragement. When he said if one falls, the other one's there, not just to physically help them up, but to emotionally, to spiritually, to encourage them. To get up, we can do this, let's do it. So that meant a lot, having him say that to me, and then it helped me to begin to see more in me than I was seeing.
Saw in yourself, right. We need each other.
Right.
You can't do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I also love about that part of your story of how it wasn't even a part of your plan. And that's how God works. Sometimes it's just like, what are we doing here? How did I end up here? That wasn't a part of your plan, but you were obedient enough to say, okay, I thought it was going to look one way, but this is actually how God wants to do it. And so you took a step of faith. And
it wasn't easy.
Okay.
I mean, I was afraid. I really was. I was facing a fear of trying to do something and it falls through. And I'll be transparent. When the first album did come out, I was kind of left out there alone. I was signed to a record label, but I felt like I was doing this myself. Mm-hmm. And God, in his wonderful way, even in the midst of all of that, took that album and did some amazing things with it.
Yeah. And a lot of times that is the case where we're fearful of the unknown, right? Like, how's this going to look? I know that, God, you called me to it, but I may, and that's the thing. We think, okay, well, I may fail. But at the end of the day, it's not even about us. you know, and God get through his strength given to us, we exceed anything we could have thought or imagined because we, you know, pushed through and trusted in God. So that is beautiful that you were able to just say, okay, I'm going to do it anyway, even through the fear, pushing past that and the doubt and through the setbacks. So how is being a professional singer, is it different from being a worship leader? Is it the same thing for you? Or how is it the same or different?
It is now the same for me.
Okay.
Starting out, like I said, I was a part of a record label, and they have a vision for who they want you to be, who they want you to cater to. And my mind, I've always been a worship leader, and that's because for me, as a worship leader, there's a freedom. I want to engage the people. As a professional, you know, we're trying to fill the room. I'm just going to be real. We got to fill the room. We want to sell these CDs. We got to sell out of tickets and all of these things. I don't feel as connected as just a professional singer. Now it's come full circle. I have returned back to that record label, but not as one of their signed artists. They believed in Cassandra O'Neal and her ministry as a worship leader so much that they were willing to deal with me, take me on, let me be who God has called me to be. This bilingual, that was the main thing that they were not feeling. First of all, you're African American. Why are you trying to sing in Spanish? Why are you trying to cater to this audience when you're African American? That's what your audience is. But they've seen now, and out of their own mouths, they have said, "I'm a believer."
Right.
That God has got you catering to a vast, a diverse audience.
Right.
So I'm saying all that to say that now for me, being a worship leader and a professional artist, it's all in there together.
I'm able
not
to do both.
Right. It's not about the money. It's not about filling the room. I stand firm on whoever shows up.
Yeah.
That's who's supposed to be there.
Right.
If cameras are on me when I'm on that platform, they should not be able to tell if that room has 1 or 1,000 because I'm ministering, first of all, to the audience of one, and I'm going to connect with whoever is in that room.
Exactly. Yep.
That's my goal.
And that's so true. And I remember you mentioned to me in the past how you found out that God was the source of your gift. Could you share what that experience was like when you got to the point to okay, God, you are the source? Because I think that all ties into the full circle thing you mentioned about it's all about worshiping God. It's not about me at all. It's all about worshiping God and using the gifts He's given me. So
I was serving not even as a worship leader at this time. This is me just starting to step out and lead songs at church. And we had 3 services. And I'll never forget that, you know, I did all 3 of those services. And at the end of that 3rd service, I could barely talk. And we had another church that we had to get to. It was a 2-hour ride. So my plan, me being me, I'm going to plan this out, was to be quiet on the bus, eat the apples that I had, and just chill. So when I get there, I'll try to see what I have. So we took the 2-hour ride, got out off the bus, ran straight to the bathroom because good acoustics are in the bathroom, y'all.
Okay.
So I get in there and I'm trying to sing a little something and it's awful. When I tell you it's awful, it was awful. Okay. So I'm still stuck on myself because people in the past have said, girl, you sang that song. It was so good. And this little head of mine just started swelling. And I remember saying, you know, I'm practicing, I'm doing this in the mirror. Oh, next time I sing this part, I'm going to do this. So I got all that going through my head. And when I hear what I sound like, because of pride, I'm not getting up there sounding like this. So I'm going to find this minister
your voice
music.
Didn't sound like how it usually did.
Oh, no,
point.
girl,
Okay.
It was terrible.
Okay.
I'm just being honest.
Okay.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get to the minister of music so I can tell her I will not be able to sing because it's just awful. I could never get to her. Either somebody would get in the way or I would get sidetracked, but I never got to her. So now services start, and the very first song she plays the intro to is a song that I sang, and my little brain is just ticking. Here's my plan.
Right.
If it sounds awful, I'm just gonna start crying. Now you know how could I already be in the
You just
spirit
gotta catch the Holy Spirit
at the beginning of the song? Hadn't sung anything, but right then the spirit dropped into my spirit. I'm going to show you that this is not about you. Now I'm thinking he's going to embarrass me to the max. But our God, who is so good, did the direct opposite. I had my eyes closed, and when it was time for me to sing, I opened my mouth, and when I say that note came out so crystal clear, I did a double take on myself, like
this is me.
Minister that song from the beginning to the end. And at the very end, I had nothing left, not even a whisper. And from that day forth, I learned a couple things about my God. He's not going to share his glory, and I'm not going to try to take glory that does not belong to me. So today, anytime anybody gives a compliment on my ministry, it's always to God be the glory. Thank you.
Wow.
But to God be the glory.
Wow.
So he's shown me that the gift, that's what he showed me. I gave you the gift. I gave you the talent. I'm the one that called you.
Right.
So everything you do is for me. And that's the way it's been. So I can sit right here in front of you on this camera and say, if anybody ever tells you Cassandra O'Neal is just so arrogant, you can tell them for me. No. I've sat with her. I talked to her.
Yeah.
And I know that she understands that all glory belongs to God.
And I can see that in you. You are, just so humble and genuine. You're so very genuine, and you do have a beautiful voice. So you could walk around with a big head if you wanted to.
No, child, ain't no room for my head and my hair.
But
no room.
But you are, very humble and genuine. And I love that story of how, one thing, I think some people view God as a tough, cruel God. And it's so funny how you thought, like, oh, he's going to embarrass me so I can learn my lesson today. But instead it's like, no, I'm going to show you how much I love you, for one, and how I've given you this gift. I've given it to you as my daughter because I want you to use it to share the word. Like, I want you to use it to minister, to break people free of whatever they're dealing with. I want you to use it as worship, as a worship leader. So that is beautiful. Yeah. Like, God, we serve such a good, loving God.
He's so good.
And so your story is still unfolding to today. You've done a lot. And so through all of what you shared so far, who do you see yourself becoming?
Ooh, wow. I see myself becoming a mature woman, stepping out of fear, stepping out of distractions. I want to become more and more transparent. I've shared a lot, still haven't shared the full story. So I think I'm becoming just a mature person, ready to, I don't know how to say this, ready to tackle what this new year is going to bring.
Okay.
With it, for me, it's going to bring release. So I think I'm going to, I'll just say me. The me that God has called me to be, that the world has still yet to see. You've only seen glimpses, but now as I began to release and take off and let go.
And that's not an easy thing to do. To think, like, I'm going to have the world see me, like, fully me. That's a lot to, to think about, but I applaud you in that.
Well, I took a small step today.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm going to tell you what it is, this gray.
Okay.
That was a small step, because
Okay.
I'm usually covering that up. That's
Okay.
one thing,
Yeah.
we're going to tap the gray, but because we're coming into a brand new year, I felt today is a great day to start that release. So I'm releasing the hair color.
And you got to do it on this platform.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm glad I was a part of that, of your release.
It's going to be amazing.
And us as women, there's so many things that we want to hide or cover up, or, just a lot of insecurities that we may deal with. And it's hard to just let it loose and let go and just say, okay, this is all of me. So I'm glad
That's
that
the
you
key.
are.
I want to be me, so that I never have to worry about trying to be who they want.
Right.
The world or the record label.
Right.
They don't want you to have the gray, because that's not, not what is attractive, they think. But wait till you see, girl.
In full greenness. And not only does it help you, but it helps someone else who
is
struggling with whatever that thing is. Us becoming our full self helps other people become, I think, who they really are. And that is the purpose of, I think, God placing this on my heart to do this show, Becoming is because through us sharing our stories, we can set other people free and have them be encouraged to walk out their own story.
True.
So,
That's true.
And I know that you said there was a time where you wanted to quit, right? In the midst of all this.
Yeah, that was the first year, and then maybe about 2 years later. Because it for me it hasn't been easy. Family life has been very difficult. For me, I think with that first album, that one song that charted, which is No Matter, which I think is a favorite of many people. It has one line in it where I'm addressing the enemy and I'm saying to him, "Bring it on, devil. Don't matter what you do to me, doesn't matter how hard you press against me, I'm declaring that I'm the victorious one." I felt like he has said, we're going to see if it doesn't matter. If it doesn't matter, if, you know, I have a daughter who is, we're struggling, battling through bipolar disorder 1 with psychosis. Having to deal with that, dealing with a struggling marriage.
Okay.
Again, I want to be transparent.
Okay.
I can only tell my side. That was a struggle in and of itself. And having to stand on the platform everywhere that I go to minister and minister from that place that all this is happening, but it doesn't matter. God still gets the praise. I'm still here to do what he's called me to do. I'm here to help whoever has come into that room to share it and the gift that I'm sharing with them. I just want to be there present to do that. And it has not been easy. It's been tough, but God is working it out. Some things are turning around and changing, and some are not. And some at this moment that we're entering into this new year will be released. And I'm ready. I'm ready for that.
And so what would you say to encourage someone that's going through something that you have been through or something similar to what you're going through now?
Well, the key is definitely going to be you got to take care of yourself. You can't allow the circumstance to bring you to the point that you just want to give up. You can feel like it, but don't do it. Surround yourself with people who love you, people who will encourage you. If you can't find those people like you actually know them, find a good support group. That you definitely don't want to do this alone. I want to just encourage you to do that. Definitely find a spiritual leader, somebody that will encourage you in the word. If you're not a person of faith, don't let that stop you. Find, again, people that will encourage you, that will say to you, you're going to make this, you're going to get through this. Just mainly don't give up. Don't give up.
Thank you, Cassandra. And thank you so much for your transparency, because like I said, that is the purpose of the show, to share our stories. And a lot of times I think when we see people on stage, we forget that they're human, that they're going through stuff, that they may have just got off the phone and heard, terrible news, or just got out of an argument with whoever before they stepped on stage. And they're putting all that aside to give God the glory and to help you break through whatever it is that you may be going through. So thank you for your transparency and for your obedience to God as a worship leader. I feel like we can talk and talk and talk all day long. We might have to have a part 2 because there's so much to your story.
I'm open to it.
But how can people follow you on social media, and what do you have going on currently right now?
Well, I am working on another book. It's a 365-day devotional. But you can find out information about all of that on my website. It's CassandraO'NealMinistries.com. Again, that's CassandraO'NealMinistries.com. Social media, on Facebook, Cassandra O'Neal. Instagram is at Cassandra O'Neal Music. And Twitter is Cassandra O'Neal.
Okay, great. And you have the book coming out, and then how many out? You just released a...
I did.
Okay.
Yes, I actually have 3 projects.
Okay.
The third one is a bilingual English and Spanish project that I am just proud to say that God did.
That. Yes.
God did that. You can find out information about that as well on the website, as well as the book.
Okay.
My first book, which was a 31-day devotional called Our Day-to-Day Faith, Stories, Songs, and Supplications to get you through your day.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So you guys check that out. She has a lot of material. But one thing you don't have to go to her website to see right now is her blessing us with her beautiful voice. I'm putting her on the spot, but Cassandra, could you please just share a song, any song, with the viewers today?
All right. Well, I actually do want to share. This song is called In Awe. It's also in Spanish. So if you go to iTunes and get the Once Again Otra Vez CD, you can hear it in Spanish. But I'm going to share it in English. I pray that it encourages you. It's really me speaking to God, just reminding him of all he is to me. And hopefully it encourages you. Nothing compares to the warmth of your embrace, or to the songs you sing over me with sweet melodies that soothe my soul. How you took my broken life and you made it whole. I stand in awe of you. There's no one else like you. I stand in awe of you. I stand in awe.
Beautiful. I'm in awe right now.
Oh.
Thank you, Cassandra. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Becoming. I pray that Cassandra's story blessed you as much as it blessed me. And I look forward to seeing you become all that God has created you to be.